Ranted and raved about by millions of customers, as well as prominent industry voices, the Caliburn has become the iconic open pod system. We are IndeJuice, my name is George, and this is the UWELL Caliburn review. Based in Shenzhen, China, UWELL have released a handful of products over the last couple of years, but none have been as prominent as the Caliburn. With the resurgence of TPD 10mm and the explosion in popularity of nic salts, UWELL aimed to create a device that mirrored industry trends whilst also being able to accommodate for almost any VG/PG preference. With a stock 1.4 ohm coil, you'd expect this device to struggle with higher VG juices, but in our testing over the last 3 months, we found it more than capable of blasting through the thicker VGs. Whilst we wouldn't recommend going over 70 VG, purely for coil life, this could easily be your short fill daily driver. There are two main reasons that this device handles thicker VG with ease. The first is that while the coil is only a 1.4, it's actually a parallel coil. This helps balance the heating load with heavier juices and results in a more consistent inhale on every draw. The second reason this device blasts through higher VG juices is due to the abnormally large juice intake holes leading to the cotton. One of the main reasons that pod devices have historically struggled with higher VG juices is because it takes a while for the cotton to reach full saturation under heavy use, especially combined with the tiny juice intake holes that manufacturers have just always assumed would be sufficient for their purpose. But as we've all experienced with dry hits, burnt out cartridges, these assumptions have been far from correct. Until now, the pod device trend has been focused around achieving sub-ohm resistance with tiny juice intake holes, barely sufficient for the purpose of 50/50 juices. Meanwhile, UWELL have taken the entirely opposite approach. By accepting that the true home of sub-ohm resistance is in modular devices, UWELL have freed themselves of the never-ending chase of thinning down their coil resistance. Instead, they've been able to create a device that lives in an extremely comfortable 1.4 ohm resistance, giving the cotton enough buffer time to get to full saturation, as it takes longer for the coils to heat up. Combine that with the tight airflow constantly forcing juice through the intake holes on every draw, and you end up with a perfectly balanced device that syncs up full cotton saturation with the time it takes for the coils to heat up, almost entirely erasing the experience of burnt hits and dry hits without the need for an expensive DNA chip. Speaking of airflow, keeping true to the theme of simplicity, there is no adjustable airflow for this device. You just pick it up and you get the same draw every time. It's quite similar to that of a cigarette and designed for mouth to lung, although it is wide enough to allow direct to lung every now and then. While this device does have a single button, built into the airflow system is automatic draw detection. This means that you don't need to click the button. You just pick it up, take a draw, and you're done. But if you prefer clicking the button briefly before inhaling for a warmer draw, it's there if you need it. 5 clicks to unlock and 5 clicks to lock, as usual. Overall, this device is a great representation of the journey that this industry has taken to reach maturity. With all new industries, manufacturers are always trying to outdo each other, especially at the beginning. The hallmarks have always been achieving lower resistance, creating new metal alloys for coils, and creating devices that can handle maxed out wattages. The list goes on. But within this chaos of constantly pushing the limits, what UWELL have done with the Caliburn is take a step back, assemble the most tried and tested components, and perfect them. There are of course areas for improvement. The battery could be a little bigger than the current 520 milliamp hours. The cap on the cartridges is sometimes a little bit difficult to take off, but I'm not that mad about that. Looking back at the days where battery safety and leaking were the top issues in vaping, I'm very happy that we're at a point where my only real criticisms with the vape device are these ancillary issues that have nothing to do really with the ultimate vaping experience. Whether you're new to vaping or you've been around for a while, the UWELL Caliburn is a device that every vapor should have in their arsenal. At IndeJuice, we're doing an offer at the minute for $19.99 for one of these devices, where the RRP is usually around £30, so it's not going to break the bank either. We'll have links in the description straight to that product. We hope you've enjoyed this review. Please make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, we'll see you later. Peace.